Pleasures and duties in everyday life. What proportion to keep to stay sane and productive? Feeling uninspired and have no motivation to do anything at all? Then, you landed on the right channel. Welcome to Bulletproof Perspectives. We hope our insight will help you define your goals and sustain progress. Click subscribe and turn the bell notification on to never miss out on our latest videos. The idea behind pleasures and duties in everyday life, what proportion to keep to stay sane and productive, is that people need to find a delicate balance between pursuing their particular interests and the obligations and responsibilities of daily life. It recognizes that responsibilities and pleasures both have a substantial impact on one's general well-being and that striking the correct balance is essential to productivity and sanity. The notion acknowledges that duties include commitments to one's family, society roles, and work-related responsibilities. These responsibilities offer direction, structure, and a feeling of achievement. On the other hand, an overemphasis on work without enough time for leisure can result in burnout, stress, and a lower standard of living. However, enjoyment and leisure time pursuits are thought to be crucial for brain renewal. It is widely believed that emotional resilience and well-being depend on partaking in joyful, calming, and fulfilling activities. However, placing too much focus on pleasures at the expense of obligations can lead to marital problems, financial instability, and a lack of accomplishment. The major query raised by this idea is what ratio of obligations to pleasures must be struck in order to sustain productivity and sanity. It recognizes that this ratio is arbitrary and changes for every person based on their own priorities, thresholds, and particular circumstances. According to the theory, attaining a harmonious balance entails defining boundaries, prioritizing things that are really achievable, and acknowledging that life's demands are cyclical. Additionally, the idea promotes routine introspection to determine whether the existing balance is in line with a person's objectives and well-being. It encourages the idea that striking a careful balance between obligations and pleasures requires a flexible and intelligent approach that takes into account changing priorities and individual requirements. In daily life, finding the correct balance between obligations and pleasures is a constant challenge that is necessary to keep one's sanity and productivity intact. People in today's fast-paced, modern world frequently have to balance a wide range of personal goals, professional commitments, and duties. Concurrently, the pursuit of leisure and enjoyment is seen as essential to mental health. This essay examines the complex relationship between obligations and pleasures with the goal of determining the ideal ratio required to promote a happy and healthy lifestyle. Our daily lives revolve around duties, which include employment commitments, family obligations, and social tasks. These responsibilities offer direction, structure, and a feeling of achievement. But an overly fixation on tasks can result in tension, burnout, and a diminished quality of life. It is imperative to recognize that an unremitting commitment to duties without respite can negatively impact mental health and overall satisfaction. So, the question is, how much balance between obligations and pleasures is required to maintain productivity and sanity? A tailored strategy is needed to strike this balance, taking into account that each person has different circumstances, priorities, and thresholds. It entails a continuous process of introspection and modification to conform to changing conditions in one's life. Overindulgence in pleasures at the expense of responsibilities can result in interpersonal difficulty, unstable finances, and a lack of success. On the other hand, a relentless emphasis on work without making time for leisure activities can lead to boredom, a loss of direction, and worsening mental health. Setting reasonable priorities, defining boundaries, and acknowledging the cyclical nature of life's demands are all necessary to achieve a healthy balance. A routine that is both organized and fulfilling can be achieved by making a timetable that allots specific time for both responsibilities and pleasures. Frequent self-reflection enables people to determine whether the existing balance is in line with their objectives and well-being, enabling any required adjustments. In addition, cultivating a positive outlook on responsibilities and joys calls for practicing mindfulness and giving each moment of life your whole attention. A more integrated and sustainable approach results from realizing that they can enhance and complement one another rather than seeing them as opposing factors. The things we do for pleasure are those that make us happy, content, and joyful. Hobbies, entertainment, socializing, unwinding, and self-care are just a few examples. Because they lower stress, improve mood, and boost motivation, pleasures are crucial for our mental and emotional health. Our obligations are the things that we must perform because they are required, expected, or advantageous. They could be related to employment, education, running errands, housework, or other commitments. Our financial and physical well-being depend on our ability to fulfill our duties, which can offer security, stability, and order. But obligations and pleasures don't have to conflict with one another. In fact, they frequently enhance or overlap. For instance, some people may enjoy what they do for a living, or fulfilling obligations may result in future joys. Similarly, many pleasures, like enhancing our relationships, abilities, or health, may also benefit our obligations. The ratio of responsibilities to pleasures in daily life can change based on a number of variables, including your preferences, circumstances, values, and personality. While there isn't a universal method for determining the ideal balance, the following basic advice might be useful to you. Identify your priorities and values. Set realistic and specific goals. Plan and schedule your time. Be flexible and adaptable. Seek support and feedback. Reward yourself and celebrate your achievements. Balancing your time is crucial for staying sane and productive. Aim for a mix that includes work, relaxation, socializing, and self-care. Experiment to find what works best for you, as proportions may vary based on personal preferences and responsibilities. In summary, the ideal balance between responsibilities and pleasures in daily life is dynamic and subjective. It necessitates a deliberate and flexible strategy that takes into account unique requirements, personal situations, and shifting priorities. Finding this equilibrium requires ongoing self-discovery, adjustment, and deliberate decision-making. It is not a one-size-fits-all undertaking. People can develop a sense of sanity, purpose, and productivity in their daily lives by managing this delicate balancing. In conclusion, the idea emphasizes that an ideal ratio is arbitrary and necessitates continual self-evaluation and adjustment. It also acknowledges the dual nature of joys and obligations in daily life. People can develop a sense of sanity, purpose, and productivity in their daily lives by striking this precise balance. In essence, the proportion of pleasures and duties to stay sane and productive is dynamic and requires a thoughtful and adaptive strategy. By navigating this delicate equilibrium, individuals can cultivate a sense of purpose, satisfaction, and productivity in their everyday lives. I hope you learned a lot in this video. If you ever feel burnt out, unproductive, or unmotivated again, just remember a shift in your perspective will make all the difference. Bulletproof Perspectives is always here to brighten your day. Stay bulletproof.